And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Wednesday, September 7th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com, and here are some of the news stories from the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The Cherokee Nation welcomed a large crowd at the 59th Cherokee Nation holiday on Saturday, September 3rd, with a parade and the annual State of the Nation ceremony. This year, as in previous years, hundreds of people gathered under the shade of the tall trees on the tribe's courthouse square to meet the newest ambassadors of Cherokee Nation, listen to speeches from tribal leaders, and to honor traditional keepers and community members. Also, the Cherokee Nation has set the final list of precinct locations for Saturday, September 24th special election for Principal Chief. The precincts remain the same as in earlier elections held in 2011, but officials with the tribe's Elections Commission said a few physical locations have changed because of availability, meaning voters should double-check where they go to cast their ballots. The special election is a result of an order from Cherokee Nation Supreme Court, which found it was impossible to determine the election results with a mathematical certainty, and that the court could not certify a successful candidate for the office of Principal Chief of the Cherokee Nation in the June 25th general election. All citizens who are registered to vote in the general election will be eligible to vote in this special election. A totem pole carved with stories of healing, hope, and knowledge is headed to the National Library of Medicine, part of the National Institute of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. The healing totem will be one of the artistic, educational, and inspirational elements in the library's new exhibition, Native Voices, Native Peoples, Concepts of Health and Illness. The free exhibition opens to the public October 6, 2011. Master carver Jewel Prey and Wolf James of the Lummi Nation near Bellingham, Washington, created the totem pole. He and other tribal members will travel with the totem pole as it makes its way across the northern tier of the United States, receiving traditional blessings from 9 tribes on the 4,400-mile journey to the National Library of Medicine. The Lummi Nation will hold the first blessing ceremony on September 12th from 10 to 1 p.m. at Simahomo Park, Cannery Lodge in Simahomo, Washington, and that's near Blaine on September 13th, and there will be a blessing ceremony event from 11 a.m. to noon. And that's going to be at the Fisher Pavilion at the Seattle Center in downtown Seattle, that ceremony. James will be the featured speaker at that event, sponsored by the National Library of Medicine, the University of Washington Libraries, and the Native American Land Conservancy, which is co-sponsoring the journey as well. After the Seattle ceremony, the totem pole will travel for 3 weeks, touching a dozen states. The library hopes the journey will increase awareness of good health and health information resources. The Native Voices exhibition will examine Native concepts of health and illness and show how those concepts are closely tied to the community, spirit, and the land. As the exhibition title suggests, visitors will experience the views, vision, and diversity of Native people through their own words and expression, be it a heartfelt interview accessed through the exhibition's interactive media or stories carved into the healing totem pole. The St. Regis Braves won the 2011 President's Cup last Sunday night, downing 3 Nations Lacrosse League rivals Snake Island Muskies, also from Akwesasne, 1-8 in the jam-packed Anawara, or the Turtle Dome, on the Kawinoki, Cornwall Islands. The matchup was a culmination of the week-long tournament held this year on the Akwesasne Mohawk territory to crown the national champion of Canadian Senior B lacrosse. The Braves received fantastic performance from Cody Jacobs, who finished with 3 goals and 4 assists, and team captain Brett Bucktooth, who scored 3 goals in the form of a natural hat trick in the second period and handed out 3 assists. Whether she was wearing a police badge and carrying a pistol or an eagle feather plume in the traditional regalia of a Native American fancy dancer, Grace Her Many Horses has earned the respect of the community she serves. Her Many Horses is the first female chief of police for the Rosebud Reservation and a champion powwow dancer who has been winning titles since she was 12 years old. The Rapid City Journal reports that the 53-year-old herd many horses often works 60 to 70 hours each week, overseeing 12 officers on the vast reservation covering 21 communities and 2,000 miles in South Dakota. Suicide and violence are common on the reservation. The mother of 3 children, ages 28, 21, and 17, says she pays special attention to crimes against children. Principal Chief Michael Hicks has won a 3rd term as leader of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. Hicks defeated challenger Patrick Lambert last Thursday by a count of 2,124 to 1,988. The victory made Hicks the first chief to win a 3rd term in 5 decades. The election marked the rematch of the 2007 race. Hicks said he will work on social services, a new jail, expanding gaming, economic development, and housing in the next 4 years for the tribe. The Eastern Band of Cherokee is one of 2 major Cherokee tribal communities in the United States, the other one being the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. Blackfeet tribal officials say someone broke the lock on a tank that holds drinking water for the Browning residents last week, and who were temporarily ordered not to use the water until it was tested for possible contamination. Tribal Communications Director Wayne Smith says the 1 million gallon tank was tampered with sometime last week, perhaps on Wednesday, and the Environmental Protection Agency advised the city to enact a do not use order to be safe. The Great Falls Tribune reported the order was lifted late last week, but residents were still advised to boil their water before using it for the time being yet. Smith says there's no evidence anyone put anything into the water, and chemical tests conducted were favorable. The tribe purchased bottled water for its local residents. The road to the WinnaVegas Casino near Sloan has reopened, eliminating the need for the amphibious duck boats that had been ferrying gamblers safely over the Missouri River floodwaters. Woodbury County had closed the road because of the flooding. That forced the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska to close its operation. A berm was built to protect the casino, which became an island in a sea of floodwater. Then the duck boats were brought in to the scene and gambling resumed. The Sioux City Journal reported last week that the road was reopened and a hole was punched in the berm so vehicles could get through. Tribal Council member Travis Mallory says the tribe didn't make much money this summer, but the main idea was to keep employees working. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country. On this edition of the Native News, we want to let you know we're going to do some live broadcasting upcoming this weekend at Indian Summer, September 9th, 10th, and 11th. Watch for the announcements on that. And thanks for joining with us.